Hi guys, don't mind the outfit. I just came back from a party, but I really wanted to speak to you guys about the pain of being stonewalled. When someone stonewalls you, it's not them being quiet, it's them emotionally disappearing. And it feels like hell. It feels like you're in the middle of a conversation and then they just leave the room. Like y'all are full deep into it. And then they get up and then they leave the room. And you're like, what the fuck? I thought we was in a conversation. I thought we was having a good time. I thought we was, connecting. Feels like they disappear mentally. They're still there physically, but mentally it just feels like they just left the room. And I feel like that's the worst kind. You might as well just fucking left the room, bitch. You might as well just fucking left the room. Being stonewalled feels like shit. And if you're an anxious attachment person like me, that silence feels unbearable. Feels like you're being punished for just trying to explain how you feel, and it feels like shit. Because your brain is saying, why aren't they saying anything? Why are they ignoring me? Did I do something wrong? And then your brain just starts blaming yourself. You shouldn't be punished for explaining your feelings. That should not be a punishment. You want to be emotionally stable before you communicate your feelings, because it can get out of control and then the whole conversation will just go left. And then that's when a person feels like, oh, I'm gonna stonewall them until they act right. And then you're just fucking flipping out and shit like that while they're just probably smiling, thinking it's funny watching you get out of control. Then you start overthinking, and then you start apologizing for expressing your feelings, expressing how they made you feel. You start apologizing. I'm sorry for telling you how I felt. I'm sorry for telling you I feel like I'm not important in this relationship. I'm sorry. Like, what? No. Don't fucking apologize. You're trying to fix the tension that they created by shutting down. What are you apologizing for? Stonewalling messes with your sense of security. And when someone shuts you out like that, it's a fear of abandonment. You start thinking, maybe if I was less emotional, quieter, maybe they would want to talk to me. Maybe I'll finally be important. You start shrinking yourself just to keep peace. You start holding things in because you don't want to bother them. But I want you to know, that's not peace, baby. That's suppression. You're suppressing your emotions to make someone else happy. Never make yourself feel like hell for someone else's happiness. You matter before anyone else. Your emotions matter before anyone else. So don't say that you're not important or your emotions are too much. If it's too much for that person, then fuck them. They're just not your person. Because you're the right person for you, nothing will ever be too much for them. They'll want to fix whatever is making you unhappy immediately. They'll want you to be happy. They won't want you to feel less than. To the person that's being stonewalled, it's not your responsibility to pull someone out of their emotional wall. If they don't know how to communicate, maybe they shouldn't be in a relationship. They are literally shutting you out for communicating your feelings. Therefore, they do not know how to communicate their own feelings. They should not be in a relationship, personally. I think people who stonewall should not be in a relationship until they figure out how to communicate properly instead of ignoring someone. It's a very shitty thing to do. When someone's desperately trying to make things work for you, and it just shows that they really care about the relationship, and here you are ignoring them when they're crying out for help. Your partner, by the way, someone that you claim that you wanted to be with forever. If someone truly cares, they'll meet you halfway. They wouldn't make you chase clarity, babe. Okay? The person of your dreams will not make you chase clarity. When I sense that silence coming, I don't panic like I used to. I don't crash out. I remind myself that silence does not define my value. A month ago, I crashed out. I'm not gonna lie. I crashed out bad. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing seeing myself cry out while they ignore me. It was embarrassing seeing myself beg someone to listen to me and they called me crazy. It's embarrassing. And you know what? Picture yourself crashing out and then someone posting that on their social media, laughing. Picture that. Do you want that to happen to you? Fuck no. Okay? So this is what we do. You remind yourself the silence does not define your value. Okay? Take space. I journal. I do my hobbies. I make these videos for you guys. And I talk to people who can communicate, who can understand, who doesn't shut you out. And most importantly, stop over-explaining. Because if someone wants to understand you, they would. They just choose not to because they don't care. If someone shows you signs that they don't give a fuck about you, listen to them. Listen to those signs. It'll save you a whole bunch of time. You should not have to fight to be heard, babe. You shouldn't have to fight to be heard. You deserve a connection that makes you feel safe, not silence that make you constantly doubt yourself and make you overthink your worth, because you are worthy. Okay? You're worthy. If you ever been stonewalled, it's not your fault. You didn't do too much. You were just trying to connect with someone that wasn't ready to do the same. Now, if you're a bad crash out and you're explaining your feelings in a bad way, don't be shocked if they do stonewall you, because they could be just doing it out there for their peace, okay? A lot of people love their peace, but if they're doing it when you're communicating properly, they're not your person, baby. They're not your person. And we all have those crash out moments where, you know, you go get calm and then them not caring about your response, it makes you crash out. I get it. I'm not blaming you because, girl, I would be a hypocrite if I did it, you know? And then you start asking yourself, am I asking for too much? Am I too sensitive? Is what I'm saying unimportant? Am I just overthinking everything? I messed up again? You start blaming yourself instead of blaming the person that's stonewalling you, that's being emotionally unavailable for you. You're not the problem. And I'm not saying they're the problem either, because sometimes it's not out of cruelty. Some people stonewall because it makes them feel powerful and they feel like they have a one-up on you. It's kind of like a trait of narcissism, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes people do it out of anxiety or they feel overwhelmed. Not everyone does it out of cruelty. Now, some people do it out of cruelty. You just gotta communicate with your person to understand the difference, you know? But yeah, that's what stonewalling does. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel a little bitty tiny, like you're not important, but you are important. And then it makes you feel confused, and then it makes you come off desperate. A lot of avoidant attachment people stonewall, and in my last video I talked about anxious attachment. You should check that out as well. But so keep your heart soft, but protect your peace. And remember, silence might feel like rejection, but sometimes it's just redirection. They're just telling you that they're not your husband or wife. So now you get to move on to the next. And if that person does, you get to move on to the next until you can finally meet your person, because you will find your person. I'm telling you now. You deserve people who listen and not escape. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see y'all in the next one. Bye.